Hey, good morning. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. A couple of days of break, which was nice. Past couple of days, lots happening. Got lots of news to talk about today, that's for sure, which is always a good thing. But before we do, just want to say thanks for joining the live stream. If you're watching on the replay, we go live Monday to Friday, most Monday to Friday on the channel, and you can join in, post the live videos ahead of time so you can get notified when they go on. It'd be great to have you on. If not, you can always watch them back. They always stay on the replay, so it's always great to have you. If you are watching and have a comment or question, fire it in the comments. It's always good. I'll get back to you. And if you can make it live, like we've got the coffee crew this morning kind of rolling in here, it's great to see you live too. So we'll get into our good mornings as we go here. And Candace did not disappoint with her pun joke of the day. We'll get into that after we say good morning. So if you're tuning in, make sure you do say hi. If it's your first time, don't be afraid. It's a good group of people. We talk about finance. We talk about our TFSAs. We sometimes get sidetracked on other things, and that's okay too. It's always good. So Candace, good morning. Hopefully your day is going well. I saw on the oil is up today, so I'm going to assume you're having a decent day, hopefully, and that is all good. And thanks for tuning in. And Stan is here. Welcome back, Stan. Hopefully your morning is going good. Let us know if you're watching, if you've bought anything today. Obviously, you didn't have a live stream on Monday to share basically what I am doing is my dollar cost averaging for the year. I continued on with that on Monday, so I did do the $100 deposit to my Wealthsimple TFSA, purchased one share of VDY, $50 of PSA, that's the purpose high interest savings ETF, and then the remaining amount was into the VFE, the S&P 500 index, Vanguard S&P 500 index ETF. So that's going to carry on. Did it on Monday, carry it on next Monday. That's my goal for the year, is just to continue on that trajectory on there. And we've had actually kind of a decent few days, and last week was good. This week's been good. It's nice to finally see some green in the market, that is for sure. And Nadia, good morning, welcome. Always good to have you here. Thanks for joining in. And hopefully everybody's coffee is hot. So Candace is looking at gold today. Oh, interesting. One thing I have noticed, Candace, gold is I think been doing pretty good lately. I don't obviously have gold in my TFSA, but I do have it in a small percentage. Wealthsimple in the invest side puts a little percentage in gold in an ETF there, and it's up, which is good. And I've actually kind of noticed, that's one thing I've noticed about on the invest side. It's funny when you don't have control. Well, I shouldn't say when you don't have any control, when you don't have as much control of what individual things to put your investments in. My investments over on the invest side are actually doing pretty well, surprisingly. So that's good. It just kind of shows, I think, with that, because I have my RSP there, and I just do my I have regular deposits that I do every couple weeks into my RSP, and it's been good. No complaints. So that's nice. And gold is up in it, and most things are kind of, it's just been doing good. It shows kind of the power of dollar cost averaging, I guess, is the best thing. So gold. Candace is watching gold today. I don't know if we have any gold, Candace, in the coffee crew watch list. We'll have to double check that. I can't quite remember. We'll get into that though as we go. And we have to get to your joke. So this one was terrible. ChatGPT joke of the day. For those that don't know, ChatGPT is that AI that is all the rage right now. And you can type in essentially anything. So I'm going to assume Candace typed in a joke pun, a finance or saving joke pun. Please tell me this, and it popped out. Why did the saver cross the road to get to the other bank? That is really bad. But that's so good. It's so bad, it's good. Candace, I was actually before the live stream, I tried to jump into ChatGPT and it was busy. And then just before we went live, I was able to put in a few pun jokes, but they were worse than that one. So I was like, I cannot. This is terrible. So it must be out of pun jokes right now. We'll have to I'll keep my eye out on that one tomorrow. It's always fun to see what you come up with on that. It's so bad. All this investment into AI and machine learning, and we're typing in give us a stupid joke, which is kind of funny on that one. So let us know. As always, comments are open. Don't be afraid to say hi or ask a question. If I can't answer it, I try to. Obviously, if I can't answer it, there's always a good group of people in the chat fire it away, and we can go with that. And jump in if you bought anything. Obviously, this week it's always good to hear. Trying to up the AI. Yeah, so bad, so bad. I'll wait for tomorrow for the next one. Keep a few handy. So bad. I'll try and search again. That's the one thing we can't say about this. I've noticed it's more and more people are using it, and it's getting a lot busier. So you can't always get on there for whatever reason. It doesn't let you log in. Just the servers are overloaded. But maybe there's the rumors of Microsoft wanting to invest in it, and $10 billion. I'm thinking. What I read. So hopefully, I think the speed will turn up a notch once if that actually happens. We'll have to see what does happen. So there we go. So obviously we missed Monday, Tuesday, so we missed a lot of a little bit of news, of course, and the big one. Let's pull this up. The big one was Canada's CPI, or we can see that. Oh, I don't know why that is in there. Let's move the chat out of the window. I don't know why that's showing. Anyway, so what we've got here, let's move this window so you don't see. There we go. Lower gas prices. So Canada's CPI in December, the numbers came out on earlier this week, and down back to 6.3. Still high. I mean, we're still high, but better than the month before. So they fell. Canada on a monthly basis fell 0.6% from November. So seasonally adjusted 0.1%. That's the largest. The decrease is the largest since April 2020, which is, I think, a good sign. Obviously, prices coming down. So in November, the CPI hit 6.8%. Worse, obviously. So it was less. It's always kind of good when it's less than what economists predict. They were expecting an increase of 6.4% on the annual basis. So I think that kind of helped with gas prices. Gas prices are down. And it does mention here, though, shelter costs are up, rent is up, of course, mortgage interest rates are up, as everybody does know that. The mortgage rates are ugly for people if they're renewing their mortgage or having to get a new mortgage, that's for sure. But I did mention grocery prices ease slightly. Now, I've kind of noticed, now I don't know, let's pull back and we'll do get back to my regular scene here. There we go. And I did notice a little bit, there we go. Yeah, expected was 0.6. So it shows signs of coming down. I mean, I still think we're going to have that interest rate hike. Let me know in the comments if you think, I don't think the Bank of Canada is going to pause at the end of this month. 25th, I believe, is the next Bank of Canada rate. I think we're going to see it's hard. I mean, prediction, I think we can kind of, this one I think would be pretty easy. I think we're going to see 25 basis points. Let us know in the comments if you what you think. I don't see a pause coming right now. This might be kind of the last one, and then we'll see what happens because inflation is coming down. But back to a little bit on groceries. Like I have noticed a little bit in groceries. Some of the produce is a little bit cheaper. You can find stuff on sale now. So I think prices, hopefully start to kind of still edge down, which would be nice and kind of give everybody a bit of a reprieve, especially because everything is, especially if you have mortgage payments, that kind of thing, more expensive. So any kind of reprieve is nice. So that was good. That was kind of some good expected news, and I think we're going to see that. My prediction, I think we see this continuing, but we probably will have. I think we'll have some ups and downs along the way. It won't be I don't think it's going to be a straight line down by any means. We'll definitely see some inflation maybe pop up from time to time in the next, I think the next little while anyways. I think Magic, good morning, welcome. Thanks for tuning into the chat. We were just talking about Canada's CPI. So there we go. So the expectation was 0.5. Yeah, let me just see here. Sorry, I'm going to go back to the article. Was it 0.5? Did I misspeak that too? Canadians. Let me go back. CPI. Good news. It doesn't say that. Sorry, it doesn't say that. 6.4. It doesn't matter. Oh, so you're right. Yeah, the article actually does not mention. It does not mention what the forecast was. That so. And then on that note, bringing back more about inflation and everything else. So it was this morning, actually. Move that out of the way. I don't know why that's showing up all of a sudden, but anyways, my window is kind of weird. But anyways, that would go. I have to adjust that. Anyways, U.S. PPI, U.S. Producer Price Index fell more than expected in December. That was today. So these are the prices of things like the producers that the inputs of goods, right, that are coming down. And this decreased 0.5% last month, which is good. So that is coming down in the States. In the 12 months through December, the Producer Price Index increased 6.2% after climbing 7.3% in November. So we are seeing a decrease in goods, so that will kind of roll into the prices we see, I think, eventually as that kind of comes through the system. So that's a good thing. Inflation coming down. I think from what all signs are pointing to, we're going to see hopefully a little bit of a reprieve on the interest rate front. I don't think we're going to see any kind of decrease. And we talked about it a little bit before. I don't think we're going to see a decrease in the prime rate anytime soon, from the Bank of Canada. But I think we're hopefully kind of at the top after this month. We'll see how that does pan out. Tons of news. It's when you miss a couple days of streaming. There's lots to pick up. Just a couple more articles, and of course, obviously, if anybody has anything that they want to bring up, we can always talk about it. Let's pull the next one up. And we talked about this a little bit, but it's still happening. Now, let's see here. GICs. Let's move that. And I'm going to move this so you can actually see it. There we go. Move that out of the way. And GICs, investors still putting a ton of money into GICs. But this article kind of talks about beyond GICs a little bit. Now, it's basically saying, no, I had got to read this here. It was Royal Bank. We talked about this a little while back. $25 billion is poured into RBC GICs over the span of the past year. Obviously, if we see interest rates rise, GICs have great rates we haven't seen since. Now, we talked about last time, it was basically like savings rates and GIC rates are better than when, like we talk about our TFSAs a lot. They're better than when TFSAs first launched. So a lot of people are going into GICs and high interest savings account, money market ETFs. So this does mention that. So if you are starting to, I know I have started to put a little bit into my TFSA as the purpose high interest savings account, and just to build up some cash, because the return, the PSA ETF is paying right now 4.59% for sitting in basically essentially cash. So there's some very little risk to keep some cash on hand for the time being, and getting decent returns for it that we haven't seen for, since I can remember, back in the early 2000s, so that's kind of a good thing. So the high interest savings account, there's offers on those. The one thing I have noticed, I invest with Wealthsimple. The one thing I have noticed with Wealthsimple's, they do have that save account where you can have cash savings. They're still only paying 1.5%. So I think they need to sharpen their pencil a little bit on that. With that being said, I do actually have a call with Wealthsimple to do kind of because it's the new year. That was kind of the idea of it. And I have my portfolio there. I have my RSP and the invest side, as well as my self-managed stuff. But I have a call tomorrow set up with one of the investors, or not the investor, one of the investor advisors there, just to go over everything, make sure I'm in the right positions with everything, and not so much my TFSA side, but just kind of go over my other RSP and that kind of thing. But they did mention in the email to me that they are offering more of a high interest product now, and I don't know all the details of this. I will get information on this tomorrow, because it kind of piqued my interest a little bit. Because if I have, why would I put something in 1.5% savings at Wealthsimple for my emergency fund or whatever on that when I can put it into something else? Most of the banks are paying higher interest. Tangerine is paying more. It's basically everywhere. A lot of promo rates out there, that's for sure. So we'll have to see what they say. there's apparently something that they have in the works. So hopefully they're maybe just going to be increasing their save side. We'll have to see. I don't know if anybody else has had them reach out to you, but what caused this appointment was them to actually reach out to me. So we'll have to see. They're probably going and reaching around to, I think, probably a lot of people that maybe they see some people pulling cash out or what have you. Maybe, I don't know. So high interest savings accounts popular. I don't see that changing for any time in the short time, but we'll have to see how things do pan out with that one. And there we go. Caitlin, Wealthsimple, 3% cash. Have they changed it? I don't know. It might be different for different people. I don't have I have the Wealthsimple Invest side. So from my understanding, when I last looked, it was 1.5%. So maybe it's changing. That I don't know. Maybe there's some promo. Let me just quickly log in. I can log into my my app just quickly. And Caitlin, welcome to the live chat. I don't think we've chatted before, so it's always good. New people arriving. So it's with a direct deposit minimum of 500. So they must have a promo going. That's kind of neat. I'm just looking at my save side. I don't have really anything in there. It's 1.5% still. So they must have had a promo. They do have promos from time to time, Caitlin. So maybe I might have missed that one. Maybe to set up a direct deposit. I know they started to do that feature of direct deposit for your payroll. I haven't signed up for it. It doesn't really work too well for me. I have just with work, I'm not paid consistently. So my commission basically, so pays always are, I mean, I get consistent paydays, but they're not always, sometimes I miss out weeks and that kind of stuff. So I find it easier to keep things going into my regular bank account, basically because with bill payments, and it's one of those things where once it's set up, it's easy to kind of have it and that. So it's in the cash account. Okay, makes sense then. So you can that's tied into your to the card they have. That makes sense then. So the cash, it is kind of confusing. Some of the things that I know they're trying to, Caitlin, I know they're trying to roll everything into one app. I know from the invest side, they're starting to I keep getting that pop up on there that says we're no longer updating the cash app. Please go to the main app. I don't like the main app for the invest side. It's just a personal preference. So I kind of still go to the old app. And that's probably why I've missed it, because I don't use cash. Does anybody else? I mean, Caitlin, obviously you're using the cash account. If you can get 3%, you might as well get 3%. It's double the amount they need to get on the save side. I don't know if the only thing I do know with Wealthsimple, they have different tiers on the invest side. If you have certain amounts invested, your fees will go down. I don't think that uses the balance of your cash account to kind of go towards that limit. That would be something to look into on Wealthsimple on their help pages. So good to know. I haven't used the cash account, so that's how I missed that one. But good promo, doubled the interest than you'd get on save. So nothing wrong with 3% over 1.5. On that promo thing, they have everybody probably got the email on Monday. It came out kind of late Monday, early Tuesday, if I remember correctly, when I saw the email come through. So they're having, they have their, let me just pull it up. I won't pull up my email because you don't, where did it go here? I saved it. So they're calling this new thing Max Out Mondays. And what they're doing is every Monday, over the next few weeks, they're giving away cash prizes up to $6,500. So that's like our TFSA contribution room for the year. All you have to do is basically make a deposit into any Wealthsimple account. So Wealthsimple managed investing, stocks, ETFs, crypto, or the save account. And for each dollar you deposit, it's an entry into the draw every Monday. So I guess they're doing regular draws for the next few weeks to give away not up to $100,000, but I think they're giving away over $100,000. So if you have some deposits going in, you will get some credits towards your entry fees. And it would be nice to win for sure, to be able to max out your RSP for the year. That would be obviously nice. Winning money would be great. And what they do, from my understanding, is they don't, obviously it's $6,500, which is the TFSA limit for the year, but obviously, if you've already put money into your TFSA, you can't put any more. But from reading through it, they put it into your personal account there, and you can do with with it what you want. You could always go and spend it. Although we don't, we're savers on the channel. So I'm going to guess, I think if I was to win, let me know in the comments if you won $6,500. What would you do? I have a ton of room in my TFSA, so I would probably put it in my TFSA. That being said, I would also probably look at making a good lump sum payment, depending if I had time before the RSP deadline would kind of help too. I probably would put it in my TFSA though, and I don't know what I would put it in though. I'd probably just split it up into kind of everything VDY, VFE, and there we go with that. So that'd be nice. Although I never win anything. Famous last words, but I don't play the like I don't win the lottery, or don't win I don't really enter many contests. So I guess if you don't enter, you can't win. And I just had actually one last article before we get into the Coffee Crew. We'll check out the Coffee Crew watch list. Caitlin, if you haven't watched before, thanks again for joining. We have a Coffee Crew that's joining us here in the live chat, and we have a stock watch list. We kind of some of the things that some people are keeping an eye on. So if you have anything in particular that you wanted to kind of maybe keep an eye on, obviously not no financial advice, but it's always kind of fun to see what people have their eyes on. We'll check into that after this. And Dan, yeah, would have to spend it on a next trip. That's okay though. That's okay. If it's kind of found, it's found money. Maybe put $500 aside, and then keep the 6,000 for future or a nice vacation. That's for sure. I think for $6,000 you could get a pretty nice vacation for two. I know on that vacation note, I know travel. I have friends that work in the travel business, and they are absolutely swamped. I met one was on some business work out near me last week, and we met for coffee, and he said it was absolutely nutso out there. And obviously seen in the news a lot of the stuff with the delayed flights and all that kind of thing, but people are still going on vacation. So it's a busy time of year. Canadians like to get away from the winter. That is for sure. I haven't been on a vacation for quite a long time, not since towards the end of 2019 actually. I did a lot of traveling. I got that out of my system. No desire really to travel. Somewhere in Canada, I think will be my next trip. Do some more traveling in Canada. So Dan will spend when Dan wins, you'll spend your money, or his wife will take the money and spend it on trip. That's good. All right, a couple more. Well, one more news article before, and this kind of just really popped up this morning, just literally just before I went live. But let's pull this up. U.S. We talk about crypto a little bit on the channel. Obviously, I invest in Bitcoin. I have BTC.Y in my TFSA, and I have the another ETF in my TFSA, and I do obviously have Shakepay, and I do my daily, I do dollar cost averaging to buy Bitcoin a little bit. So I do have Bitcoin. So it's always important to kind of keep on top of things. And I know a few other investors in here have digital currency and assets. So the U.S. has actually announced an international cryptocurrency action as of today. Very, very vague in terms of what they're announcing. U.S. Justice Department will announce a major international cryptocurrency enforcement action today, Wednesday. It said in a statement, adding the U.S. Treasury will also be part of this announcement. They haven't announced what it's all about, other than it is happening today at 12 o'clock Eastern. So it'll be 9 o'clock, basically, about half an hour from now, just after the live stream, just after the live stream ends. So we can kind of check that out. I'll be following a lot. We'll maybe talk about that a little bit tomorrow. I don't know what this is going to be. They're just not really saying much. They're also having other officials. There is the deputy director of FBI and the U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of New York. This is probably, a lot of this is tied into the whole thing that happened with FTX. Maybe this is the start of some regulation coming in the ways which we don't have in crypto, which I think, if done properly, will be a good thing. So that is coming up in about half an hour. And then, let's pull up. Might as well we're here for the last little bit of news. Then we can kind of get into the chat and see what's all going on. This is the Coffee Crew watch list. So a little bit of green in there. It seems to be about 50-50 on there. We've had a decent last week on the market, and also this week. If anybody has anything that they want to add to the watch list, do let me know. You can also leave a comment. over in the in any one of the videos. I can always add that on if you're not able to watch the chat. If you're watching this on the replay and you want to have one of your stocks or ETFs added, shoot me a comment. Always good to have more things on there to kind of look at. I do kind of enjoy looking on there, and it kind of gives me an idea what some other things that people are watching, or there might be obviously some overlap potentially in my portfolio too, which is always a good. On that note, on portfolio and the channel, it's Wednesday midweek, so I like to do an update midweek. I will get a TFSA portfolio update. It is actually kind of decent, still in the red. You always get the sneak peeks in the live stream, but last week was quite decent for me and my portfolio. Bitcoin has, over the last basically month, has gone up basically 30%. And on that note, Dan, yeah, BTC.Y is doing quite well right now. I'm still down on that, but that's been inching up quite nicely on the portfolio. I'll share it obviously in the channel, but I'm pretty happy with how things have been kind of going. You're happy but not happy. The one thing I'm not happy about is how VDY is doing, because that's the one I'm really focusing on dollar cost averaging this year, and it just keeps going up. So that is, I guess that's a good thing, but when you're trying to buy more, it's not a good thing. But we'll see how it all pans out. So that's good. There's nice to see some. The one thing with the portfolio, it's nice to see some green coming back into it, which is always good. So it's a bit reassuring to know I'm kind of, I think, on the right track as we go forward. So, and BTC.Y. And because of so Candace, if people haven't watched Candace's channel, Mountain Finance, she did the cage match between Bell, Telus, and Rogers, and she sold her 50, or maybe not all of BCE, but sold 50 Bell and bought 100 Telus thanks to her own battle. There you go. It's funny talking about cell phones and cell phone plans. I have my cell phone provider is Bell, and my contract is up. So I started looking. Of course, I'm looking what plans are out there, and they're always hounding you now because after you buy, get a phone, you start looking and they try and upgrade you, get a new phone, get a new plan, all this and that. But then I started looking at my plans, and the phone I have is only 2 years old now. It's fine. It works fine. I just use it for the phone and a few apps. I'm not a big texter. It works for what I need. So I'm actually probably just going to buy it out. The buyout on it is a couple $100, which kind of stinks, but my plan cost will go down because I started looking at, and again, this would made me think about Telus, because I invest in Telus. My internet is through Telus, and I thought, well, I'll look and see if there's a good deal at Telus to transfer over. And I have an old plan on Bell, and it's like I can't go anywhere. If I moved anywhere else, I'd pay minimum $25 a month more. So I have to really kind of dig into it a bit more. But I don't think where's everybody's cell phone right now? I mean, I have Bell, I've had Telus before, I've had Rogers before. I kind of just go to whoever has kind of a lot of times the best deal at the time. And I think I lucked out with the one I had in Bell. I'm only going to be paying, shouldn't say only, it's still I think a ripoff, but I do have some data, and I have unlimited calls, I have a voicemail, all that kind of stuff. $55. I'm paying right now $55 a month. Plus I'll be paying a little bit from when I had the phone. I think it was $15. So the bill was about $70 something, and I can't seem to find anywhere else other comparable without paying $70 a month. So I'm probably just going to stay at Bell. That's kind of with some of the research. So I don't know. Let me know if anybody sees any deals out there. Make sure to leave a comment on one of the videos, because it's always kind of a good time to start looking around. If you can change that, or I call Bell and tell them I want to change, and maybe they'll shoot me a few bucks off. So yeah, I know, Candace, you mentioned you're on Rogers and you hate them. I was with Rogers for a while. I was with Rogers. This is years and years and years ago, because they were one of the ones that had the BlackBerry at the time. Remember BlackBerries? Date myself. And there was a Rogers BlackBerry that I had to use. And then, so you have Virgin cell phone and Bell satellite. Okay, yeah. I have my cell phone before was Telus, and then I moved to Bell. It's always seemed to work good for location wise and stuff like that. It always seems to be good. And the reason I partly switched at the time when I partly switched to Bell, I was traveling a lot more, so like out of country, and Bell had a good deal on. They had a good deal if you wanted to add data and call internationally. That was one of the main reason. And I used to be with Fido a long time ago, Caitlin. Yeah, I remember having Fido when they had a really good plan, but that was before they had data and stuff like that on phones. You had like the unlimited plan for whatever, but it would when, as soon as data and stuff came out, you'd lose the plan and everything else. It's have to kind of look. Virgin had the best deal for us at Costco. Okay, good to know. And I don't have Costco, but I know someone had mentioned before that what they use for their superstore, or like wherever you are, Loblaws, the superstore points that you gather, some people would actually gather them up for the whole year and use it to buy a new cell phone. So that's maybe an idea too. I should actually maybe look at what Superstore has to offer. But I don't think I'm going to buy a new phone. I don't really see the point. My phone's fine. It's 2 years old. It still works. Holds a good charge still. This is the famous last words. Of course, after the 2-year contract is up, it'll probably. My contract's up next month, so what'll happen after next month? They send a signal to it or something, and then the battery starts to die, and it just doesn't work as well. But you know what? It's handy. I just use it for phone and stuff, as we talked about before. I don't use really the camera, I have another camera that I use. I don't use my phone much for filming or that kind of thing. So I don't need the latest and greatest. So probably just keep it, and then roll with that. And then at least it's I'm not on a contract, and if something else comes up, like a really good deal, or some, if I'm out somewhere and I see a good deal, I'll take advantage of it. That's the whole idea. The whole idea this year is to like try and cut back and try and save some money. So you get the hand-me-downs. Yeah, I upgraded this one because when I did this one, Dan, when my contract was up before, I was offered it, and it was kind of this, ended up working out to be the same price and everything else. And my old phone worked fine, so it was great. And then I got the new phone, and then I realized the phone, I got it, and I was like, it doesn't even have a headphone jack. So I had to go and buy, like, you can get little dongles and stuff, and it just was a pain. So it's funny when I'm actually watching, like if I'm ever watching like a YouTube video or something on my phone, I use my old phone and put headphones on. So go figure. I'm not a fan of Bluetooth stuff. It sounds, I just, number one, they cost a fortune if you get a decent set of Bluetooth headphones that actually work decently. And if you buy the cheap ones, the quality is terrible. People can't hear you, you can't hear them. But ultimately, like, the reason I don't spend a fortune on really decent earbuds and something Bluetooth is because the earbuds I will lose. I know myself, and I'm not going to spend $200 on a pair of earbuds when I'm going to lose one probably within a week. So I just use the phone old school. I guess that shows my age, because I don't need the latest and greatest. But I mean, talking with some friends and coworkers, they don't. I mean, I guess you hit a certain age, you just don't need the latest and greatest stuff anymore. You just kind of use what you got until it stops working, and that'll be going forward. I'd rather if I'm going to save X amount of dollars each month by not having a new cell phone plan, I can save myself $15-20 a month. That's another $15-20 that goes into my TFSA, and carry forward with trying to invest as much as possible. Another thing on channel, thanks, I forget who pointed it out. That channel that was pointed out to me last week, with the Fire family. I started following them, the couple in Canada. So thanks for pointing that out. That was a great YouTube channel to subscribe to. So I watched a few of their videos. If anybody ever has any else of good video channels, kind of in the Canadian finance space, I find sometimes the U.S. stuff is a bit too clickbaity and over the top for me. But if anybody has any other Canadian investment channels that they are interested in, do let me know in the comments. It's always good to it's always good to hear what people are watching, what people are doing on the channel front. For me, obviously, I'll have that update this month. The subscribers are kind of it seems to be kind of, no, I don't know, it when the market seems to be more green, you start to see the channel pick up. So that's, I think, a good sign with the market. There's a few new subscribers to the channel, which is awesome. The channel's growing slowly but surely. And a few people have asked and left comments about getting monetized. Obviously, as you're watching the stream, no ads. Almost there, and people kind of keep mentioning that it's almost there. I think less than. I'm gonna say my prediction is in about. I would say in about a month we should have. That's my goal, is to get monetized within a month. So I think that will happen. We'll carry on with the live streams Monday, Friday, and then I got to get off my butt and get in gear and create a few more videos to get going for the channel. It always helps out as well. So we're there. We'll start that out. We've got a few ideas kind of coming for the channel in terms of the live stream, and there is also. I've got to get it worked out. We will have a coffee crew there's obviously the memberships, which will go, and we'll kind of tie that in. I think we'll have some fun with that, tie that in with some coffee themes, and we'll do some stuff a bit more for members when that time comes, when everything gets rolling, gets monetized. And I think the big goal is to be able to monetize the channel from everybody, and then also be able to hopefully, I mean, YouTube doesn't pay you a fortune, obviously, but just every little bit, put it back into the TFSA. That's, I think, the goal. That's how I kind of started the channel, to try and build up that. Takes a little bit of time, obviously, but then be able to have some extra, basically, side gig to be able to put into the TFSA for the long run. That's the goal going forward on there. And that is all. We're all coming up to about almost 22. This has been a great chat. Thanks for, obviously, everybody that's joining and watching. And it's always appreciated. And so as we get to this is the time for everybody to ask questions, comments, fire them away. We can kind of see where the conversation takes us. If anybody has their eye on stuff or thoughts on anything, do let me know. Getting close, Candace. Very, very close. I mean, you check this thing every day. You check it too much, right? Like you have a channel, you know what it's like. Every morning when you wake up and you see how close. There's about looking at mine, it's less than 400 hours that I need overrun. But I think so it's the home stretch. Definitely the home stretch. The live streams are always fun to do. They help with watch time, as everybody knows, and we get more and more people joining every day usually. So that's always a good thing. Not going to stop doing them, obviously, after they get monetized. I think, if anything, we'll probably start to do them maybe a little bit more. We'll have to see how things pan out in terms of that. But with the plans going forward with the channel, it's slowly but surely. So that's why I think about a month, Candace. I think I need another month under my belt, and then it will be there. But again, not in any rush. Going to keep doing what I'm doing, and when it happens, it happens. That's all good. I would just appreciate, even if right away, right now, anyways, every view is appreciated, every comment, every like, every subscribe. On that note, obviously, it's time to say, like, if you haven't liked the stream yet, give it a thumbs up. It does help. It does help the channel, gets it out there. And if anybody does know anybody that might find this topic interesting, not just my channel, but I always like to give shout outs to others that support each other. It's a great community, what I found. So obviously, if you're not following, I think we have a lot of overlap, Candace, but if anybody's not following Candace's channel, I will put it, you know what, let me put it in the chat, because it's always good to support other people. Let me pull up your link, and I'll put that up on the chat. Oops. So make sure, give Candace a follow. YouTube Mountain Finance. You can just Google Mountain Finance, or it's not Google, but you could probably Google it too. But on YouTube, you could just YouTube it. YouTube Google Mountain Finance, and give Candace a follow. Every subscriber helps. Definitely, she's got some great videos on there. I've learned a lot, Candace, from your channel. You go into the deep dives that I don't have the patience necessarily to, so I learn from you. That's it's always good to learn and get a level methodical head on certain things. And one of the one of the stock purchases on the channel, doing quite well. Diversified Royalty. That was obviously thanks to Candace and thanks to the coffee crew suggesting that one, and that one's doing okay. So happy about that. We'll let that one roll out and keep on going. So happy about that. It's nice that that is one of the ones that is in the green. So that's always good. The crew, the coffee crew didn't steer me wrong. I'll have to do something. We're coming up. This is episode the 70. What one is this? This is 74. I should know. See, I'm doing these at my own live streams, and I should know what the heck I'm actually doing. Episode 74, and so we'll have to do something. Maybe for live stream 100 is I'll try and buy another 100 shares of Div. That would be kind of a good one. Unless there's something else that someone can kind of recommend. We'll have to see. It'll be fun with that one. We'll see. That might be a good thing to kind of save up for. Obviously the price has gone up, but that's okay. That might be kind of a good fun one to add. I think if I was to add another 100, I would probably have enough dividends coming in then to be able to at least buy one, because it's not quite there yet. So I think we'll look at that. So 26 live streams to go. It's always good, and it's always fun to do these. So the 25 will come pretty quickly. Might be timed if we can. Yeah, it might actually be timed with all the channel monetization as well. We'll have to see how that all goes out. And that's all I had, everybody. We're coming up to a 1:45, so if there's any last minute questions, do let me know. It's always good. We'll kind of hang out in the chat for a little bit. I have start work, for those who are watching that haven't watched before, I start work about 9 o'clock, so stream goes to about 8:45, but sometimes I can keep going longer if there's some comments in there. I haven't seen MC today, so MC is the one that usually throws in a comment at the last minute if they're arriving late, but maybe not today. But if anybody has any questions, comments about anything on the channel, do let me know. Happy to answer them for you. Before we sign off, it's all good. And then after this, I will be watching to see what the heck is happening with that announcement in the States in regards to cryptocurrency. Just let me check Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin's been doing well, so it hasn't really nothing's really happened after that announcing the announcement in terms of the Bitcoin price. So this may have something to do with, maybe there's some people must have got wind somehow. That's maybe where the price went up, but we'll have to see. Galtham, welcome, new subscriber. Always good to have someone new. Thanks for joining the channel. If you are joining and you have anything that you wanted to add to the Coffee Crew stock watch list, let us know. I'm happy to add that over. I haven't added anything there, but we'll see. And the comments coming in. Justin, I'll have to read the rest of your comment because it doesn't quite all fit in there. I'll just turn the side here. I'm having a good week. I'm having a good week too. Remembered an old RSP account that had an old company I worked for contributed to. Turned out to be almost $4,000. Getting it transferred to my Questrade account. It's nice to found money. That is awesome. It's funny. It's That's nice that you had an old account. Now that's a good Dan. It's a nice bonus that you especially weren't expecting. I had something like that. This is a long time ago. It wasn't $4,000. I had an old company that I worked for at 1.2, and I ended up getting something in the mail because I had left this company a long time ago, and it was about. I mean, this is going back a while, like probably almost 20 years, but it was a couple $1,000. I was foolish, and had I got that now, I would continue investing it, but I was foolish and it cashed out. It was in like a pension thing, and because it was under a certain amount, I had to take it basically. So we'll see what that was. Yeah, that was about $2,000, I think, at the time. Good question, Candace. When do you think the bottom will be in? Good question. I think, you know what? If I the optimistic side of me would be I think it's I think it almost has been. Are you? And I don't know if you're talking about. I don't know if you're talking about just Bitcoin but probably market in general. Yeah, I see. the more I kind of it's hard, right? The whole crystal ball thing is really really hard, and but the more you kind of think, I don't know. If you asked me a week, 2 weeks ago, I in terms of like recession and everything else, it was probably going to be it seemed like it was going to be really bad, but just the way that inflation's starting to come down, I don't know. I mean, is the Fed and obviously Bank of Canada, are they is what they're with what they're doing, is it going to work and will be kind of more of a, as they call it, a soft landing? It's hard to know, but it's kind of, I don't know, I think it's kind of pointing in that direction a little bit more. But again, this could change, right? There's so many variables with everything out there. But I think I'd like to think this little. I mean, it's always nice to be optimistic when the market's been green for a little bit, but I think yeah, uh, I think it will be telling, I think, a little bit more, Candace. So you're predicting late spring, early summer. Yeah, I was kind of thinking like at the end of this, maybe the end of this quarter. I think we'll like after. I mean, in Canada, is Bank of Canada end of this month rates, and then obviously the Fed is in February beginning. I think it's the beginning of February, if I'm not mistaken. Someone, if they know in the comments, let me know. With the states, I think it's I want to say the third, but I could be, it might not be till a bit later. Uh, I think that will be telling to certain in terms of the language, what they're kind of saying, and I think we'll see the top of rates. But I mean, this is the whole thing, Candace. We're still seeing lots of layoffs in tech, right? Like Microsoft is laying off people now, Amazon is laying off people now, but that's obviously that. But then we're seeing the price of the shares come up because of it. So hard to know. It's hard to know, but I think if not the bottom, we're kind of close. We'll have to see how the next few weeks pans out, and towards the next month. And what if you lose money? We try, Galton, yeah, you try not to lose money. But yeah, if I lose money, if you've been following on the channel, if you're a new subscriber, I've lost money, but I'm not selling anything, so I haven't locked in those losses yet. I guess that's the one thing. But obviously, with anything, don't invest the money that you can't lose. I can't afford to lose, for sure. Don't go chasing everything. Don't listen to YouTube. Don't listen to YouTubers, and don't follow what YouTubers do. Follow what your own research takes you, for what you're comfortable in investing in. There you go. I'm going to assume that's a motorcycle, because that would be a very expensive bicycle. But I know bicycles can be quite expensive as well, but I don't know necessarily 15,000. So there you go. Justin's got an extra 15,000 into 15,000, and maybe you can put it into your, I don't know, somewhere, TFSA, RSP. Just keep some money on the side. So the Fed is February 1st. I was close, February 1st. Too many dates. I need a calendar of all these Fed's dates, and I could just Google, but there's literally something every day on that. But I don't trade. So there you go. I don't trade. What to do? I couldn't tell you what to do. I couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you what to do. Not a trader. Exactly, Candace. Yeah, YouTubers very, very beginning. You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot from YouTube. Absolutely. Um, I wouldn't follow anything necessarily what a YouTuber use it as the tip of an iceberg, right? To kind of start your research or reinforce what you've already maybe invested in. Don't don't buy something because I am, or Candace, or whoever's channel you're watching, because they're talking about a stock. I mean, it's the last thing I would want someone to do is buy something that I'm investing, because it might not be for them. It might be, but I'm not the one to make those decisions. It's a starting point kind of share. I think one thing I try and share on my channel is just, but also to share. I mean, I share my portfolio because I think I mean, everybody investing makes good choices. Everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes bad choices. But it's a learning experience, and you learn as you go. And it's the reason sharing mine. Obviously, it's I think some people would probably, if they're having a channel, it's easy to share things and talk about stocks and ETFs when everything is is going crazy and it's only up, 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 up. But I think it's more valuable also to share with people, and they can see things that investments don't always go up, and sometimes you choose the wrong ones, and there's ones that I shouldn't have bought, there's ones I should have bought more of, there's ones I should have bought less of, there's ones I should have sold a long time ago, there's ones, it's so many different variables, and it's a learning experience. So that's how I started YouTube, to kind of share my it starts off back to the first video I did, trying to grow my TFSA to $100,000. There's no time. I don't have to do it in a year. I don't have to do it in 5 years, but the goal is to do it, and I'll stick at it until it's there, and it's getting there. It's taking time, and it doesn't happen overnight, as we're seeing. I mean, I can look at it, and as of right now, I'm 12% of the way there, just over 12% of the way there. So, but it's better. I mean, even though the value is down, I also look at it like things that I'm buying, I'm not planning on selling right now. It took me a couple of years to get into the groove of what I wanted in my portfolio, and just slowly and surely building it up. It'll get there. It'll get to $100,000. I'm not too concerned about that. And the big thing, and what I'm trying to start to do, is save money in other places and put it in there, because I kind of look at it like, for example, is the monthly challenge with buying BAM, Brookfield Asset Management. That was something I normally had a subscription on. It's worked out to about, well, with the US dollar the way it is, it was 25 US, so it's about $34. That every month was going somewhere else. Now, like, I can put that $34 into my TFSA. That's how I kind of look at it. So that's more what how I've learned, and over the past couple of years with investing and seeing stuff, learning more to be frugal in different ways, but also be really diligent on building it up. And it's taken a while. You go through these ups and downs, right? Candace just asking when's the bottom, and nobody knows, right? It could be now, could have been 3 months ago. We don't know, but it just shows, with sticking to a plan, eventually you see this thing grow. I mean, I'm seeing that in my shares right now that are in the green. VDY's in the green. RioCan's in the green. There's Brookfield Asset Management is in the green. So had I panicked, and as everything came down back this past year was terrible. Had everything gone, I would have locked in those losses and been worse off. So I don't know. Just do your research with what you're buying. That's what I'm saying. For everybody, I think everybody kind of knows that. As we talk about it, don't follow what I do. Don't follow what any YouTuber does. But use it as the start, as Candace says. Use it as the start and the beginning of your journey. And if you're looking for information, it's out there. But don't be also afraid to talk to someone else about it. And I mean, obviously, I use this channel to bounce ideas off people, and people comment on things here and give suggestions, but that's not obviously always the right solution either. And on that, like I mentioned earlier, I have an appointment tomorrow with one of the advisors at Wealthsimple, just to go over stuff, because it's always good to have another opinion on things, on where you're going, and if it can help you achieve your goals maybe a little bit faster. It never hurts to work with a professional. Obviously, I'm not saying Wealthsimple's got the only advisors to talk to. There's lots of other sources out there with wherever you have your possibly have your investments. They all offer that service. So there we go. That's my public service announcement for the day. It's coming up at 9:00. I do thank everybody for joining and listening to the live stream, listening to me ramble at the end. But it's always good to kind of get into these more serious conversations as well, which is good, because we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to grow our investments. So if we can do it together, that's great. And thanks for joining, everybody. If you haven't already, say it one more time, hit the like button on your way out. We will be back tomorrow for another live stream. I'll have a little bit of news on what heck is going on with that, with the US, with cryptocurrency. We'll have some clarification on that. We'll talk about that tomorrow. once the news come up, and I'm sure there'll be some other news, and we'll leave it at that. The more you know. Yeah, do your research. Like anything, do your research with any investment. Candace, I mean, you obviously put a lot of information out there. It's very appreciated. But again, like for everybody, like, and you say it as well, it's just the start. Don't it's easy to make mistakes in investing, but it's also, it's treated as a learning. It's interesting to learn. Take all the time you can to learn. And there we go. Have a great day. Thanks for joining, Candace. I'll see you tomorrow with another joke. And Dan, thanks. Take care. We'll leave it at that. Have a good day, everybody. See you tomorrow.